Do not touch that dial. Do not click off that page. We are Lamb Radio.
Hi, I'm Susan Hoogie for the Lamb Radio Update. Watch radio? Hmm. Does this mean turn on the car radio and stare at it, while your favorite station plays songs that you like? Now, I'm not talking about literally looking at your radio. I'm talking about something special and unique. Actually, it's about watching the people who host your favorite radio program. Lamb Radio is now broadcasting most of its live radio shows on YouTube. Now you can watch the hosts during their live broadcasts, but more importantly, you get to go right into their homes and be a guest. Of course, in my mind, that song "Be a Guest" from Beauty and the Beast is coming to my mind. Anyways, what you'll get to do is see them as they're studying and working with you and talking with you. You'll get to see their studios, and you know what? Like with Mark and me here today, you get to see their desks and what their offices look like, the shelves, and you get to see and watch us do funny faces, maybe even serious faces too. And now you get to watch radio, Lamb Radio. The last 2 weeks, Lamb Radio has been doing some broadcasting tests to see if this will work for our radio station. So far, it's a major success. 13 of the 21 live shows have now been broadcast every week live on YouTube. You'll be able to hear and watch the same shows at the same time. Okay, I'll just have to go ahead and say this. Same Lamb time, same Lamb channel, Lamb Radio. And now, here is my esteemed colleague, Mark David Smith.
That would be me, Mr. Esteemed Colleague. See, I wanted to say same Lamb time, same, no, whatever.
Go ahead.
I'm glad you said it, Susan.
You go ahead. You can say it too.
All right. Okay. Very good. All right. Yeah. For the past couple of weeks, we've been trying out the new YouTube channel to see if this works, and everybody's having a blast doing it. All the hosts and co-hosts and the listeners, people coming into the chat room and watching and listening and typing into the chat that comes along with it. We're having a blast. It's really working. I love it. Everybody's loving being able to see the people that they've been listening to for some time. And if this is the first time you've seen our YouTube updates, I put together a couple of scriptures here that kind of let you see the way that we're seeing it. For instance, we're talking about listening, reading, and watching. And of course, listening to Lamb Radio, you're reading the MailChimp update, and now watching our YouTube channel. And in Acts 13:16, it says Paul stood up and motioning with his hand said, "Men of Israel, and you who fear God, listen." I love the part where it says, "and you who fear God," because that incorporates all of us along with the people of Israel. When it comes to reading, I brought up the verse from 1 Timothy 4:13. It says, "Till I come, give attention to reading, to exhortation, to doctrine." And that's what we're talking about here is that when you get that MailChimp update, you're getting an understanding of what's going on with Lamb Radio, which exalts the Word of God with exhortation, doctrine, with all kinds of understanding. And I think that works real well. When it comes to watching, and of course right now, you're experiencing that by watching us. In Luke 12:37, it says, "Blessed are those servants whom the master, when he comes, will find watching. Assuredly, I say to you that he will gird himself and have them sit down to eat, and will come and serve them." And that's what Susan and I and all of the other hosts and co-hosts the people that work behind the scenes, in front of the camera, behind their microphones, everything. That's what we're here to do, is to serve you, the listeners, readers, and watchers of Lamb Radio. Susan, let's take each of these and expound on them a little bit more. What do you think?
All right, sounds good. Mark started with listening, so we'll continue with listening and work our way down. The Messianic Lamb Radio is a radio station, and it's like you listen to radio, right? And this is what we have. First off, music, music. 60% of all our content is music.
I thought you were going to break into song there for the
I know, I should have.
MUSIC. No. Okay. Yeah. We have over 140 different Christian, Messianic, and Jewish artists. There are a total of, we said 60% of our content is music. 63 hours out of 168 hours a week is music.
Mm-hmm. And of course, like on Shabbat, we play music for the full day, except for the 2 hours where we have a show called 2.5 Opinions. And of course, that begins at 5 p.m. Central. So, and we have that. So, but the other 40% of our content,
that would be not music.
Right. Okay, you get a check mark and 100% on that one, Mark. As we mentioned before, the content that you hear that is not music includes a whole variety of interesting ways to connect with you, who are our audience. We do advertisements, and this is one way that Lamb Radio uses this avenue to introduce other ministries of integrity. And by supporting them, this also helps to support Lamb Radio. Another thing we do is promotions, which are developed by Lamb Radio to be a blessing to you. Of course, these promotions include scriptural readings and encouragement segments. And Lamb Radio also promotes events, upcoming events such as, live programs and things like this. And we find this to be another wonderful avenue to introduce other ministries of integrity. And it also brings powerful blessings to you, our audience, which is something Lamb Radio really desires to do. And also, Lamb Radio promotes this other wonderful event called Manna Bites, a wonderful injection of insightful Hebraic thought that is brought and presented to us by Dave Matthews and Brittany Scott. So the majority of our not music content is our shows. This is even more that we have ongoing here. Out of the total 68 actual broadcasts per week, there are 44 individual shows. Some are a rebroadcast. 23 are pre-recorded shows. 21 are live shows. 25 out of the 44 are Lamb originals that our own Mark David Smith here has created. 9 are discussion shows. So out of the 44, 9 are discussion shows. 6 are prayer shows. 23 are teaching shows. 3 are interview type shows. 3 are report type shows. 7 teach the Torah portions each week. And you know what, Mark? I think we balance the all talk and all music radio format rather nicely on Lamb, don't we?
I agree. Man, that is quite the list. Tell me that's not impressive.
Okay, that's not impressive.
Whatever. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, though. We've put together in the 6 years that we've been doing this, we put together a pretty good lineup, pretty good radio station, if you ask me.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm not saying that because, I'm part of the whole team effort here. I'm just trying to look at it objectively. And yeah, I agree. It's a very, very impressive lineup that we've got. Next, we have reading. This is how Mark has broken it down. So first we did was listening. Now we're going to do reading. We have the MailChimp email newsletter. And this is something that you can receive in your inbox every other week, so every 2 weeks. And we offer within that Lamb Radio news. We offer Lamb Radio events, and we also offer website links to items and events that we're talking about here on the YouTube update. So we got all these things and probably even more, don't we, Mark?
Well, we've got announcements. And of course, once again, remember the MailChimp update that you get in your mailbox is actually just the text part of the watching that you're doing right now. So you can take that MailChimp update and look at it while you're watching the video with us also, if you want to do that. But the MailChimp, a lot of people may not want to watch this video and they'll just check out the MailChimp is perfectly fine. That way you're getting all that information, but you're getting it in a quick little, it's more like a quick thing that you get of our update. And so and we're expounding on it here. Expounding. Anyway. Anyway, also found in the MailChimp email newsletter update, we do announcements like new shows that are leaving LAM, like we got a couple this week, and we've got new shows that are coming in, and topics on the shows. If somebody is doing a special topic for the show, we can slip it in to the MailChimp. And here we also give you announcements like maybe somebody's house burnt down, one of the producers, and they're needing to do something, or somebody's building a house. Hey, I'm building a shed. You want to know? Come on over and help me. Anyway, somebody's having a baby, for instance, like Angie had a grandbaby
or
the
two.
other day. That was nice. We can mention that and give some pictures. Who knows? Announcements.
Yeah, weddings, storm survival praise things, kind of like that too. Yeah,
right. Exactly.
Okay. And also included with this, we do shows that teach the Torah portion. Like in this segment of the MailChimp email newsletter, we provide the book, the chapter, and the verse to find the Torah portion for each week. And we also provide the scriptures for the Haftorah and the Brit Hadashah. And within that, you will see a listing here for Brad Scott, because what he does is his show is specifically about the Haftorah, and he does this each and every week. So we have that as well.
That's right. And usually try to end off the MailChimp with articles by the show host producers. Susan's written a lot of them. I throw in one every once in a while, about every 4 years, maybe I'll throw one in there.
Yeah.
We've even had our listeners write articles and put them in there. People from the chat room that's never even done a show, we've thrown that in there. All kinds of people have written articles, and as long as it pertains to Lamb Radio and our broadcast, then it's fine. Will it never end? No, that's all right. It won't never end. And that's
it won't ever end. No, it won't. Okay. And because it won't end, that's what we're going to continue here with the watching segment. Okay. And that involves the Lamb Radio YouTube channel. Okay. Where do we begin? That's what we're doing right now. The Lamb Radio YouTube channel. Mark, where do we begin? How do we begin on this?
Oh, where do we begin? Oh, yeah. Sorry. Well, let's see. I was doing this when you were up there, so now I'll do this. There you go, Susan. There you go. All right. Let's see. How about you tell everybody what they'll hear or what they'll see and hear on the Lamb Radio YouTube channel, and I'll tell them what they won't ever see and hear on the Lamb Radio YouTube channel. Let's just go back and forth.
Just going back and forth like that. Yeah. Okay, sounds good to me. Okay, you will see and hear 13 out of 21 live Lamb Radio shows. Again, they are live and in person. And all the other stuff I said before, like, you get to see their desks, their books, and the host being in pajamas, but you might even get to see them being in the latest fashions. You never know. We are
Never
progressive.
know.
You never know.
You're gonna see, like, for instance, I got little excerpts that I'm throwing in here that you've already seen a few. You're gonna see a few more. Like last week on the Chameleon Church show. A couple of the guys were dressed up really nice and almost like in suits, and the other two were like, "Oh, I got a hoodie on, I'm in my pajamas, hey, no big deal." So it's
there you go.
and that's Lamb Radio. Hey, we don't care.
Well, maybe next week. How about if I come in curlers? Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, let's do this. Yeah.
Sure.
Non-committal. Okay. So anyways,
Okay.
yeah, we could probably see our host in the latest fashion. So
And what you won't see in here is any of our pre-recorded shows, just as pre-recorded shows. In other words, you're not going to just see a little lamb on the screen and hear the voices. We're not going to do that. And I know there are some stations, there are some ministries that put that out there. We're not ever going to do that. But I am working on possibly some of our pre-recorded shows. They are ministers, they are rabbis that do shows on Lamb Radio, but they don't do them live. They send us their recordings of their teachings. So hopefully we're going to get in the future, they're going to do videos of their teachings that will be broadcast on Lamb Radio, but you can watch them on our YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
So
That'd
that's
be so
kind
cool.
of what we're looking at.
That would be so cool. And what you will see and hear as well will be the archives of each YouTube show. And so if you missed any of the shows and you want to hear it again, either way, so you've got that as an option. And all you do is you just go back to the Lamb Radio YouTube channel and listen anytime that you want.
Anytime at all, 24/7, 365.
Yep.
3 o'clock in the morning, you can't sleep because you keep hearing it in your head. Something you saw or heard on Lamb Radio, and you say, "God, I just got to see that again."
Or maybe you're in Australia or something. And,
hey, that's right. It's right there. That's right.
Exactly.
Okay, you got it. And you won't see and hear most of the music that you hear on Lamb Radio. And the reason for that is because it's copyrighted material, and YouTube has this a huge deal. And I understand it's right. It's right that they don't have that, that you can't do that. You can't play copyrighted material. Even though Lamb Radio covers all of our music licensing and everything, they're not allowing us to do that. And so I am working on putting together a full-fledged list of music that can be played that aren't licensed. They're not copyrighted. And so because some of the YouTube channel shows from Lamb Radio want to play some music or something, as a break in the middle of the show. Like Rick Paul, he does a pretty long show and kind of wants to take a break, that type of thing. So you will hear some music, but it's always going to be unlicensed, uncopyrighted.
That sounds good. Yeah. And what you will hear and see as well are these updates, and they will be coming to you every 2 weeks.
These updates?
These
updates we're doing like what we're doing right now.
Yep.
You're going to see those you're going to see those on our YouTube channel every 2 weeks.
Yeah. That's why you and I are always being so nicely dressed up, right? Because we're going to be seen. Right. Yeah.
You mean like where it says
yeah, where is it? Where did it go, Mark?
Oh, I don't know. It's there. There it is. Right there. It is. Yeah, okay, Messianic. Yeah, see this. Yeah, they're all dressed
right behind you there.
Yeah. Susan will have one here pretty soon. Yeah. So you'll be able to watch these updates During that 2-week period, you mean like it starts here and
goes for a whole 14 days.
There's going to be another update starts over here, and that whole time you'll wow.
Yeah. So this one will be 24/7 14. Does that make sense?
27/14. No, actually, even if you want to go back and see the very first one we did, which was Project 11, then you can go back and watch that.
Then you go back and see that.
So it's 24/7. It's 24/14, 365.
There we go. There we go. Yeah. So these are things that you will see. So, Mark, are there any more things that we won't see or hear?
You won't see and hear
an elephant behind him.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. But you will see, while you hear a live broadcast, you will see the chat room.
Oh, that's right. Chat room.
Yeah,
during each one of the shows over there to the side. So while you're watching a live one, now these are going to be pre-recorded, but while you're watching a live show, you go over there and you'll see a chat room.
Yeah, to the right of your screen, right?
You know, the real problem with that is they're only letting 200 people in there.
Yeah.
Serious. Yeah. It's a major problem, but hey, what's that? Hey, you know what? You know, on one of the chat rooms we were doing last week, we came up with a new name for our Lamb Radio YouTube channel.
Okay. Do tell. What is it?
LAMBTube. Others came up with other names, but I think we pushed them out. But I thought LAMBTube, that's pretty cool. So that's the name.
It goes along with Lamb Chat, LAMBTube, Lamb Radio. There you go.
That's right. That's it. We've got Lamb Chat on Lamb Radio when you're listening, but when you're watching, it's LAMBTube. That's pretty cool. I like it. All right. Anyway.
And you will also see the Lamb Radio YouTube channel, which includes a list of links, such as links to home, to video, and to playlists.
Let me stop you right there, Susan. This is your real key to finding what you want on LAMBTube. Is that, like she's saying, up at the top up there, it says home, videos, and then you see playlist. If you'll click on playlist, you're gonna, it's divided up into categories. So in other words, if you just want to watch the Chameleon Show videos, you click on the Chameleon Show video category in the playlist, and then it has all of those videos. So if you want to watch Kennard Brown, Merciful Servants of God, you click on playlist, and you might have to use your mouse. I mean, if you want to click on playlist, you know, that's all right. Some people have those monitors where you can hold it. Oh, it's over here. Anyway, if you want click on playlist, there you go. There you go, right there. And once again, you'll be able to see for like the updates. If you just want to watch the updates or a past one you saw, you want to show somebody something, you click on playlist, you go to updates. There it is. How about that? Anyway. Perfect.
Yes. Yep. Very user friendly. That's the way I see it, you know. All right. And you will eventually see some pre-recorded show videos, which Mark has sort of hinted at already.
Right. Working on it. On it. That's right. All right. And that's what we can find at the LAMBTube.
At the LAMBTube. I love it. I love that name. All right. Now, what shows are using this new format so far? And any other shows upcoming with this?
Yes. We so far, we've done our morning show lineup. For instance, let's just start at the beginning. We have two Let Us Reason Together shows, one on Sunday, one on Monday, and neither one of them up to this point has broadcast on there. We're still working out the logistics to get that together, but I assume starting next week, where this comes out on Sunday, and Sunday morning, you should be able to see the Sunday Let Us Reason Together show on the YouTube channel. And also Monday, we're going to get those worked out. Comes to Tuesday, the Chameleon Church show has already broadcast, and they're doing great. They're really good. You can find that on LAMBTube. The Hidden Voice of Vidasa show, going strong. They're great. You're going to find that. Only Visiting This Planet, never heard of that show before. They keep trying to slip that one in on me. I have no idea what that even is, but you're going to find it on LAMBTube. And now Rick Paul is now doing two News for Life shows. He has started doing one on Thursday evening at 8 p.m. Central Time, and then also on Friday morning, his regular show comes on at 8:45 Central Time. His Thursday night's the pre-show, getting you ready, and if you're like a news junkie and gotta have it, then go on Thursday night. And if you not, but you want to see what he said, go to YouTube channel on LAMBTube and see what he said, you know. And anyway, say you get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and you could watch what he did Thursday night, and then watch what he's going to add to it on Friday morning. He did a great one last week. Rick was talking a lot about voter fraud. He spent a lot of time on that. If you did not see it's the News for Life 10/12/18. That's the 12th of October 18. Go watch that. Rick has major insight on that, but he's doing both of those. So those are for sure. As far as our war room is concerned, probably won't see many of those, though John and Sandy Craig are planning it. So you might look for that if you want to watch John and Sandy do the war room. Maybe a couple others. We'll see how that goes. But as far as individual shows, Kennard Levi Brown does Merciful Servants of God full force. He's doing it. You can find his videos. He is getting a lot of people to come in after on the archive and watching his. James and Abigail O'Hare does Israel My Delight. They're getting a lot of people watching. And Emmanuel Gomez, the Rabster is doing it. And so you can watch his stuff. John and Sandy Craig plan on doing Walking in Spirit and Truth. So for right now, that's kind of what we got going. I think that there'll be a couple more live shows, and then of course we're looking for the pre-recorded shows to do videos and send them in. It won't be live, but you'll find them in the archives. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, Lamb Radio is progressing in this regard. This is awesome. I'm stoked myself, and I hope everyone who's watching this video, who's listening to Lamb Radio, that you're just as stoked at all the new stuff that's coming out, and that we're not just being a typical radio station. We're actually being a progressive radio station that's bringing you even more and wild and crazy things, but also important and blessed events for each one of our listeners here. So anything else, Mark, that's happened in the past couple of weeks? You know, like I guess we should just close out the post Lamb Radio update news. And
we did lose a couple of shows. So if you're looking for Mike Clayton's Join to Hashem, which has been on Sunday evenings, and also Paul Neeson's Shabbat Fellowship, which has been on Sunday evenings, both of those are not on anymore, though Paul still does his Torah Life show on Sunday morning. Mike now does his new show, Foundations for Life, with Barry Phillips on Friday evening. And then we've lost Gabriel Bartlett. He has done his last show. Go ahead.
Yeah, but Gabriel is still on. He's with the morning show for Let Us Reason Together.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. He is on the morning show on Sunday.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, because his show on Fridays was The Good Report, and I
Yes.
guess he's gone with that. Okay, so
That's right.
all right. Well, that covers the past couple of weeks. So now let's take a look at what's coming ahead here. So
Look ahead. Oh,
yeah, looking
Susan,
ahead.
I knew you were claustrophobic.
No. Don't you mean that I'm clairvoyant? I'm a
No, I
clairvoyant.
think you're still pretty much Susan. I don't know who Claire is.
Who Claire is? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I like Susan. I think I'll stay with Susan.
We'll stick with Susan.
Okay. So this means now we're done with all this. We've completed the post Lamb radio headlines. But have you got any other news or events or happenings or ideas or solutions that are rolling around in your brain?
James and Gail have a new Israel update for us. Hey, you want to see it?
Yes.
Here it is.
Thank you, Susan and Mark. We just appreciate that. And we just want to bring together this week the Israel update. My name is James O'Hare, and this is my lovely bride, Abigail. And together we are Israel, my delight. We wanted to highlight a group, but I wanted to read a scripture first. Isaiah 49, verse 6. It says, "Shall it be a small matter to you to be my servant, to raise up the tribes of Yaakov, and bring back the preserved ones of Israel? And I shall give you as a light to the nations, to be my deliverance to the ends of the earth." That is so important, because it's in this day and age we need to focus and we need to do acts of kindness. Well, there's one group that we want to highlight today called IsraAid.org. IsraAid is an Israeli group that goes across the nations, across the world, to disaster areas, to recovery areas, and lends their support and their expertise and their manpower and volunteers from all over the world. And that group is in the panhandle of Florida right now, also in North Carolina and South Carolina, helping in the recovery efforts of Florence and Michael that had just happened.
Yeah, they're usually the first responders during these type of crises. They're professionals. They have medical teams go there, and they help people who are physically in need, some for surgery, others for other means of providing pure water for hydration. They are the light unto the nations. And yes. Isaiah 49:3 also says that, "And he said to me, you are my servants, O Israel." Let that Selah, servants. That's what it's all about. It's about serving. And they are an example to all of us. They are usually the first responders. You don't hear about it too much on the news.
That's right.
You really don't hear about it. But hallelujah, you're hearing about it now. And the reason why they are servants, and the reason why they are going forth to serve and to be the first on the spot there, is because they are adorning the light. They're showing the light of the Most High. They're letting people know that these people, Israel, the servants of the Most High, they're there helping. And they're very humble about it. They're not wanting the spotlight on them. But we just happened to see it and stumble across it and said, wow, this needs to be heard in the Messianic community. So spread the word. Let people know that Israel are the first responders during earthquakes in Haiti and tsunamis. They went to Sri Lanka. They go to all the uttermost parts of the world to help out during these times of crisis.
Yes, and since we're part of the Commonwealth of Israel, that too should be our testimony, to volunteer, to help, to do what we can in these times of disasters and helping our fellow brothers and sisters. It's great. You know, Yeshua himself said that you are the light of the world, talking about all of us, and that the light is not to be put under a bushel or hidden, but it put on a lampstand for all to see.
Yes.
So IsraAid.org, I would check them out. They're a wonderful, wonderful group, and another example of what Israel means to this world.
Yes, Israel, the
Yes.
light of El, Israel.
Amen.
The people, that would be us, that bring shalom and
Amen.
help.
Okay, and now back to Susan and Mark.
Yes, shalom aleichem.
Shalom, shalom.
That's our very own James and Abigail O'Hare giving us the latest Israel update. Thank you both for this report.
It's great. I'm going to tell you what, you want to hear a really good show, the Sunday Let Us Reason Together with James and Abigail O'Hare, Kennard Levi Brown, and Gabriel Bartlett. They'll get you saved. I'm going to tell you, you just listen to the show, you'll walk away, you'll crawl away on your knees is what you'll do. It's a great show. So I'm sorry, what did you say?
I just said it, it will change your heart listening to their show,
It will.
Mm-hmm.
So we're good.
And of course, we are always looking for your ideas, your suggestions, and your comments. So, progress along with us here at Lamb Radio. It just makes sense to work together in doing this. So make us your information center and make us your LAMBTube. That's what we would like to do. So, and if you want to, how you can also do this is not only by interacting with us, but part of the interaction includes offering a donation to Lamb Radio at any measure. It doesn't matter. Just pray about it. If it's $1, so be it. If it's more than that, so be it. It's not. If we were to have all of our Lamb listeners provide $1, and no doubt you've heard this said many times before, folks, but if everyone was to donate even 50 cents each, there would be enough money. There's enough Lamb listeners that there would be enough money where we would be able to not only pay all the bills, but be able to expand with the even more high-tech equipment to bring you even more of the nice things and the professional things that will enable you to be blessed even greater. Because with greater technology and equipment at our end, it means that we will have access to even more teachers and to be able to provide more options and more accessibility for you as our listeners to be blessed. So this is the whole point of the donations. It's not so that we get the money and we fool around and play with it. No, it's so that it goes towards Lamb Radio 100% to use in this kind of a manner to be an outreach for you, our listener. Well, folks, that's it for us. You have now found the Messianic Lamb. Now let the Messianic Lamb find you.
I love it when you say that. And my little saying is, don't ask God what he can do for you until you've asked God what you can do for him.
And there's a whole teaching involved in that. And maybe someday Mark just might teach on that or even give us an article on that.
All right. Yeah, sure. Okay, I'll do it. Sure.
Okay. You can see us and hear us in the next couple of weeks. Our next Lamb Radio, our next Messianic Lamb Radio update is November the 4th, and it will be called November Classics. So have a great couple of weeks, folks. And we will see you again.
Everybody. Oh,
yep. Shavua Tov.
Shavua Tov, everybody.
Shavua Tov.
Remember the wink there, Susan.
Oh, okay.
See y'all in a couple of weeks.
1. Blast off!
You're playing this
Hold
game?
his legs up.
I know. Ready, do it again.
Alright, 3, 2, 1. Blast off!
Do not touch that dial. Do not click off that page. We are Lamb Radio.